The first thing you need to know about Flexbox is that there is a Flex container, right? So you're going to create a container, and then all of the immediate direct children of that container are going to be Flex items. So you have your container, and then all of the immediate direct children, the first children, first level, that's it, are going to be Flex items. So that's the first concept you need to sort of burn into your brain, is that Flexbox relies on this concept of a container and then items inside that container. And the items inside that container, what makes it an item, a Flex item, what will dictate whether or not you can influence with Flexbox, and what makes it a Flex item is it needs to be an immediate child of the container. So the container and then the Flex items, which are immediate children's. So if something was nested like right here, right? So these four are the immediate children, and then my thumb is like nested under this guy right here. Well, this would not be a Flex item because that's nested too far. So containers and items. And you can see that that's what I've listed right here, right? So create a container, and the container's immediate children are Flex items. And I put in that little CSS selector right there. So we have our rule set, and then the CSS selector or selectors, and then the declaration block with declarations, which are properties and values. And I just wanted to remind you that that greater than sign is the selector we use for selecting the immediate direct children. And you could go back and review that right here. CSS selectors, nested selectors, immediate children, not all children. And so you can see right here in the CSS, give me every P, which is an immediate child under a div. And so with this HTML, here's a div, here's an immediate child, here's an immediate child that's a P, here's an immediate child that's a section, and then here's one that's not an immediate child. So every P, which is an immediate direct child of the div, using the greater than sign to select that, right? I'm going to get first and second. And if we preview that, cool. So if I was to take this code right here and make this a Flex container, right? My Flex items would be this one, and this one, right? Those would be my Flex items, but not this one, because that's not an immediate direct child. So that's how Flexbox works, containers and items. And we're going to be looking at Flexbox in relation to this concept of containers and items. So if you look at our code here, 031 Flexbox, we have it broken up. I have it broken up for you because this is the best training in the whole world, and this is what makes logical the most sense. Right? I have it broken up into 01 container and 02 items because we're talking about containers and items. And we're going to be able to set properties and values on both containers and items. And so the properties and values we'll be able to set on containers and items right here, baby. So this is for container. Whoops, cancel. Right? So we'll be able to set flex wrap, flex direction, flex flow, justify content, align items, and align content. So those are the properties that we could set on a flex container. So we have container properties and values. Display flex, that makes it a flex container, and then flex direction, flex flow, justify content, align items, align content, right? So we have flex wrap, flex direction, flex flow. I'm going to change this right here just to correspond. Kapow, flex wrap. There we go. Flex wrap, flex direction, flex flow, justify content, align items, and align content. And then down here for the items, we have, I have to look around my microphone, we have those different properties and values we could set. Align self, order, flex grow, flex shrink, flex basis, and flex. And so all that is laid out here at CSS Tricks. And this is the best place that you should go, and the reference you should always use like as you're working with Flexbox and learning Flexbox. So you could get here just by going CSS Tricks, Flexbox. Like, this is super great. And then you click on it and it takes you to this website. And you can see the way that this is broken up is that we have the container and we have items. And so everything on the left here is going to be stuff describing what you can do to the container, different properties and values you could set. And everything on the right, here's the divider, is going to be the properties and values you could set on your items. So this is just going to go through and give you some visuals and some details about the different properties and values you could set on the container, the different properties and values you could set on the container, and the different properties and values you could set on the items. The different properties and values you could set on the items, right? So that's the key takeaway from this video. Flexbox. To get Flexbox, to work with Flexbox, you have to understand that you're going to need a container, and that'll be your container. And then inside that container, you will have flex items. And the elements which become flex items are the immediate direct children of the container, right? Immediate direct children, not any children which are nested a level or more deep. Immediate direct children become the flex items. So containers and items. That's the key to using Flexbox. And in the next bunch of videos, we're going to explore how to start doing all of that.